Welcome to Wiretapped Truths. My name is Jesse Perez. With my co-host, Mr. Wiretapped Truths, Leland, our comedian Jack Simmons, and today's special guest, Mr. Teddy Cañez, who played Double G on season 2 of The Wire, who came at the perfect time because we're recapping season 2. We still have a couple recap episodes to drop, and
Yep.
he
Putting out
played
episode 5 today.
nice, and he played Double G, and and I don't know, man. Why were you so disrespectful to Ziggy, man? Why did you have no respect for him?
You know what? I think we should get to that question later, and I
Okay.
think I have a question for you about that.
Okay. So we'll start off like this then, because I noticed on your IMDb, The Wire is your first project. Like, is that correct? Yeah.
That is correct. That's the story is, and by the way, this is a million years ago. So you guys are gonna, you guys are the experts in the room here, and I'm gonna need your help to.
Sure.
recall,
22 years ago, 2003. Yeah.
Another world, truly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I was trying to recall. I was telling Jesse how I was going through some of the material again just to help myself recall what did I do? Who was this guy? So that was interesting to jog my memory that way. And I have to admit another thing, and that is, so I've never seen The Wire full all the way through. And I started to watch, out of interest. I was like, well, let's I got about halfway through season 1. And it's awesome. Of course, you get to see so many wonderful performances, so many wonderful characters start to make their entrance into this world. So thank you for that. You kind of hooked me in.
Wait, so this happened recently? That you just started for the first time?
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Cool.
And I don't really Jesse, you may have intuited this, but I don't really. Watching myself is a little weird. I do it for my work. If I need to look at what I'm doing and fine tune it, and that's one thing. Or is it something translating to the story I'm telling for an audition? But in general, watching myself is, I think that's a little. Well, it's not fun. So
nothing self-conscious and everything. Yeah,
sure, yeah, but it's fine. So yeah, anyway, that was sort of what kind of kept me away from it for a while. But I mean, like I said, you look past that. This is a million years ago. So yes, going back to, it was my first project. At that time, I was a young actor in DC, and I was doing the theater circuit there, and discovering what that was. I had not yet, come to New York, and Pat Moran, who, as you know, is the casting director in Baltimore. And she's just awesome. Just love that lady. Anyway, I went to audition. You start to get to know where you audition for commercials and local TV where you can do those things. And I had just done theater. So she brought me in initially for the guy who gets tortured off the boat. That was the role that I was up for. So I went and auditioned for that. I thought it went well. I was like, okay, cool, great. I did this thing. I don't know what that is. Let's go back to theater.
Well, it had to go super well because you got a bigger part.
No complaints there. So basically, she calls me back. The office calls me back and says, hey, we want to see you for this other role. Can you take a look at this other thing? And so we're like, yeah, okay, yeah, let's give it a see, give it a look. Brought me in. Got me talking with the director, Ed Bianchi, and went from there, got the role, and just ran with the ball for as long as they let me.
Did you have to, when you auditioned for the guy who gets tortured, do they do that as part of the audition? Like, they have you, get interrogated and whatnot, and they play the role of they're Greek, I guess?
I mean, to some degree, yes, but not nothing crazy. I mean, all of it's on.
Right, just reading the lines and everything. Yeah, okay. Right. All right, cool.
Right. So it's up to the actor to generate all that. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What was the scene that you auditioned for the for a double G? Do you remember?
Oh my god! When I went through it, I went, oh, that's the part that I was listening to, but I'm trying to recall. It doesn't come to mind right now. I don't
Okay.
know.
Yeah, it's so long ago, like you said. It's crazy that it's still people are still rewatching it after all these time.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy. I'm looking forward to seeing more of it. When I first
Yeah.
got on, when I first got there, they George Pelicanis was sort of like he was one of the writers for
Mm-hmm.
season 2. He was the guy who I think was mostly responsible for the Greek line there, and he was sort of my point guy. And so he'd be like, hey, we're going to do this thing. You don't speak Greek, right? So I'll just, he would just, put it phonetically for what I'm saying and tell me what I'm saying. But he said, don't worry, you're going to be an Americanized Greek. We're not going to do an accent. You're just going to, you're Greek American. So
Yeah,
okay.
but when you say the words and stuff, like like I'm like I was convinced. I was like I think he was Egyptian or Greek, and like I thought that was
You're so kind. I think you're so kind. Thank you. My ear, it feels like someone saying, yeah, I'm going to have 2 tacos and I'm going to nachos with those jalapenos. That's what it sounds like in my ears.
No,
Like,
I thought you nailed it.
Well, thank you.
Personally.
He was very well spoken too. He's one of the like better well spoken characters. Like he does sound Americanized a little bit, but I thought he could have been Greek. Like
So what I was going to tell you is that that I came in on the first day and I have this one like throwaway line. I called Ziggy Malaka, right? And
Malaka. That's why I love when you say that. That's the example.
Call him a dumbass. Call him an a-hole.
Right.
Like he's being an a-hole kind of in this current situation. But
He gets called out a few times.
That's when I come in for the next day and they say, you know what? Actually, you're going to do a Greek accent. Okay, you're going to do a Greek accent. I'm like, I'm going to what? I had no prep. I'm like, I'm going to. Okay, well, help me. Quick, give me something. Just
what does a Greek sound like?
Well, that's the question. And I mean, I had experience with other things, but not Greek necessarily. And so I was like, okay. They're like, you know what? We have some time. We weren't far from Greek town, I think, at that time. So like, go lose yourself. Go. I'm like, okay, that's great. Yeah. So I go to Greek town, grab some coffee, and I just get the people in the diner to just talk to me. Just the people who own the diner and work there. Just get them talking to me. Just kind of grab their sounds in my ear real quick before I can come back with something, because I had no prep. I was just on that day. They're like, yeah, you're going to do a Greek accent. So, I got away with it, with some coaching, but so, yeah, that's kind of, so yeah, they just switched, and that's what I did. And that's who Double G was.
So I asked you this before we started recording, but so your nationality is actually Hispanic, right?
It is.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm Mexican American with some, Jewish in there. That's the Feldman, Jewish German, got some Native American in there. Yeah.
Not your real last name, but your father's last name is Feldman?
Correct.
Did you?
Correct.
Okay. And you took your mother's maiden name.
Yes. So I used that's correct. I used my mother's maiden name because when I first got to New York, we did the Feldman thing, and that, kind of, it was okay, but I wasn't getting a lot of, it seemed hard to get picked up for appointments. Mm-hmm. So I ended up using Cañez because that seemed more in line with my ethnic ambiguity, which was, what I have going on. So that seemed to help them put me in a shelf for them to move forward with.
Do you find this helped you be able to like play a variety of different ethnicities and whatnot, like being somewhat, like, as you said, ethnically ambiguous, or?
Absolutely. It's been a lot of fun to be able to do things that I wouldn't otherwise be able to. So I mean, like there was I remember we did a play in DC, Homebody Kabul, and I played basically a native of the land, and I had to speak I think Farsi. Again, it was all I think it was, but it was all phonetic. And so I was terrified. Again, I was terrified. So it's just like, oh God, Okay, so just just phonetically like get that in my head, the
Yeah.
sound, the music of it. So that way I can play. That way I can be present with the people around me who are giving their all. And I was able to. And it was frightening. You just have this again. You're there in this other world, and I'm looking at them speaking my language. And what's wrong with you? And why do you look this way? They're like going and I had this whole beard going on. And this is just after 9/11, so I got a lot of looks on the street. Like it was not friendly. But anyway, so yes, to answer your question, yes, the ethnic ambiguity does lend itself to being able to have a broader sense of just broader variety of roles.
It's funny you said that because after 9/11, I was like, I think I have like a similar look to you. I'm Puerto Rican nationality,
Mhm.
but those random call outs on the airplane lines, I was always randomly call outs rejected, and I'm like, why?
Oh yeah.
Fun fact, it was not random. It wasn't random. Okay.
Not so random, maybe. No, plenty of times we were like, yeah, and this is where we get searched.
And that's when I started realizing, I was like, do I look like a Egyptian, Indian? And then I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Now, I got a question, Teddy. Just looking at your history, you said The Wire was your first project. Look, you have an extensive background in just film and theater. Kind of walk me through your journey after The Wire. You have so many different projects that you've been a part of. I guess kind of walk us through what life has been like after The Wire. And 22 years later, like, are you still actively submitting for roles, and actively are you involved still, and as far as being passionate about theater and being passionate about acting?
Yes, the answer is yes. And so before I get to that story, I will say with The Wire, I was terrified because I had only done theater up to that point. Theater was my home and something I knew. And so, and I love, and I will always love it. I'm a father now, so
Wow.
the time cost, the energy of cost, that equation's a hard one to make work with a family with small kids.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a decision you make on your own either in a vacuum, because you're part of a family. So anyway, all to say, when I booked The Wire and I was very excited, I was so excited, and I don't know if you were. I was very spazzy, and I was too excited, and I was having a hard time, especially in the beginning. And fortunately for me, Paul Ben Victor, who played Spiros,
Yep.
he was kind enough to see me struggling as an actor first day on a TV set. I don't know if he knew that it was my first time, but it certainly was, and I was scared. And so he was kind of said, "Hey, come have some coffee. Come to my trailer, have some coffee." So, okay, let's go have some coffee. So he's sitting there, and he gets me talking, gets me to relax, and kind of get outside myself and connect with him. And he got me to relax a little bit. And he was like, "So, you see what we're doing here?" I was like, "Yeah, oh yeah, I see what we're doing here." It's like, this is all it is. Just he got me to be present, and so that helped a lot. And I appreciated his kindness in that moment to kind of help me just wind it down a little bit and
being in the moments.
And all to say, so that I years later now, I'm definitely still passionate about what I do. I feel like, I love what I do, and I try to continue to grow as an actor, as an artist, all the time. I'm still passionate about it. But at the same time, like, I'm a dad, my kids are 7 and 10, so
okay. They're younger.
They're younger, and so it costs energy, but it's beautiful energy too. It's the good stuff, And for me, that changed my priorities completely, because it's no longer just about you. So, but yeah, I mean, I have a team of representatives that believe in me, and they submit me for materials they think I'm right for, and we have a back and forth, a good communication about what resonates with me and what doesn't. So yeah, right now it'll be mostly TV, in film, sometimes voiceover. Theater depends. Sometimes it's project specific as to whether or not I'm able to do it or not because of that time cost.
You
You
definitely
referred
have a
as the-
voice for it too. Not cut you off, Jesse, but your voice, like the voiceover stuff, is even on The Wire. You had a very, very well spoken, very articulate voice, like kind of thing. I can see the voiceover stuff in my head making sense. Just talking to you on camera and watching The Wire for 20 years, you do have a very distinctive voice for sure. Like,
Thank you, Leland. I thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
I was going to say your most recurring role now is as a judge, right, on Law and Order.
Most recent one, yes. They I'm a recurring guest on SVU. I'm
Nice.
Judge Daniel Laporte,
Nice.
and that battleship is 27. Is a year 27, I think. I mean, that's amazing.
So wild.
It is crazy.
Speaking of bad decisions, the act Chris Maloney to leave it to go to movies, he's kicking himself now.
Well, he's got his own show.
I know.
Yeah, he came. And
still,
honestly, we haven't talked about it, Jesse and Jack.
That was a solid paycheck, though.
The Law and Order with Christopher Maloney is dope. It's pretty dope. I don't really watch a lot of TV. My mom, she told me hey, have you seen this?
Mm-hmm.
It's really good. It's really good, y'all. It's really good.
I'm behind the times. But what show is Chris Maloney doing?
It's called Law and Order.
Organized Crime, right?
Organized Crime. Yep.
Awesome. Well, good for him. That's excellent.
Yeah. He was on Oz beforehand, right? Before Law and Order. Yeah, so he's had a whole TV. I mean, I wonder if it's difficult to leave a role after 20 years, because being an actor is tough, and I was thinking about that recently because I was thinking I was watching that Flow, the Progressive commercial the other day with that, and they still have that woman as the actress after 20 years, and I bet she must be happy about that though, because it is it's hard to work, so it's just guaranteed work.
That he works, yeah.
I mean, she's become the face of Progressive too.
That's it. I mean, it's amazing. She
yeah.
I mean, for her, that she doesn't have to do probably anything if she just want to.
No,
it's true.
That's freedom, and so good for her. And I mean, again, if you got to be okay with well, this is your thing now, if that's your case. But I have a hard. She's hilarious. I love watching.
Right.
Her. Yeah,
she's great.
So
that's right. You become an icon of the company.
Yeah. Yeah, you become the face.
Sorry, Jesse. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, so working with Pablo Schreiber, Nick Sabaka is my favorite character in season 2. I just love his wise ass comments and how he's a little streetwise but still a blue collar union worker. His characters, most people's favorite character is Frank in season 2. I prefer Nick, and that's just my opinion. But Pablo Schreiber, who recently did an interview I saw on IMDb, and they asked him what role meant the most to him, and he said Nick Sabaka from The Wire. Which is pretty cool, that it holds such a spot in all these actors' hearts and stuff. How was it working with Pablo?
I mean, he was lovely, man. He was just, my memory of him was, he was just a generous actor, very present with me and probably everyone else. I mean, the guy was awesome. I mean, just very giving. That's what you want as an actor, just to be present with the people around you. And everyone was. Remember, it was just, in those beginning days, it was just so dang cold. The whole harbor was frozen.
Yeah, it's the dead of winter, season 2.
Pretending that it's not that cold. You can see the breath coming out of our mouths.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was so freaking cold. Even
right on the water. Dude.
I mean,
that's
but Pablo was fantastic. It was a very special time. For sure.
How about David Simon? Was there how was that experience with? Can you see his?
I didn't have a lot of contact with David. I mean, it was brief, and I think that he had, a lot of other fires to attend to, and I don't begrudge him that. He's a busy man. But everyone on The Wire there was pros, and it was clear. it was clear that they were all they work together so well. I mean, they have that history, right? You know, they've many times been together with other projects, whether it's Homicide or others, but they work really well together. You know,
So I reached out to like makeup artists, and we got the makeup artist next week coming on, and like I said, costume supervisor, Miss Donna, who became the executive producer of our podcast, and like she's like, and all of them like whenever I speak to them, they like have this like memory of The Wire, where they're like the co-prop master Bob Spohr we had on, and he's like, and they go to work on House of Cards and stuff, and they were like it's night and day too. Like they, everybody's like, oh, The Wire was like, and they even had I don't know for the season 2 guys. I don't know if you guys, but I know they had like barbecues at the end of each year, where they attended. So it was like this one big family, and that they all say like working on other projects. They're like, man, I really miss The Wire though. Like, so was that another thing for you? Was like did you find it so that was your first film set? Did it seem like a little more easier than you thought? And then when you got to other ones, you were like, oh, this is not like The Wire at all film, like how how comfortable it made you.
Oh, well, I mean, they were fantastic. They were such pros, and like you just were taken care of no matter what you did. You were in good hands, for sure. I felt that, but first of all, I had no context, so I had like zero to compare it to anything at that point. But I mean, I definitely felt so. It was hard for me to get outside of my experience in that moment. But at the same time, I will say, I definitely came away with a feeling of like I was taken care of. If I needed anything, if I needed to ask anything, like I was good, and everyone around them they were just moving and making it work. So it definitely was a special set. And sets absolutely differ from one to another, for sure. And I was someone that I would pop in for my scenes and then I would go right back home. So right. I wasn't around all the time, but while I was, it was a great experience. Yeah.
I've been on a few sets, and I feel like like any other company or any business, right? It's from the top down, and it's like the directors kind of usually like set the tone, and so I feel like that's probably kind of how it is, right? Or like the showrunners, they set the mood, and it's like, because if the guy's just being like a dick, then everyone's going to be stressed out. And
not at all. They were a family. We were a family, and it's just you were taken care of.
Sure. I like that thing that you said Paul Ben Victor said to you to like be present. I feel like that's probably like the best advice too.
It wasn't about saying this. He just drew me out. Okay. Drew me out and settled me, helped me settle. When he saw me struggling. On some level, he saw me struggling, just said, hey, just, it's okay. He didn't even say that much. And I think he did it more like, I don't know, more with his actions than anything.
Right. He seems like a man of few words, almost like minimal words, but always gets his point across. Like he seemed like somebody that rarely raises his voice.
It's a quiet confidence. It's very
I've seen him in some of the other shows, and I told my team this, Teddy. I've seen him in Power. He was like this New Jersey mob boss in the last season of Power, and just on screen, it seems like everybody that I've seen from The Wire, even you in Law and Order kind of thing. It seems like it's very obvious. Like, okay, the people that were cast on The Wire, they definitely have a sense of placement, a sense of skill level almost. Because him and Wendell Pierce are both on Power this last season of Raising Kanan, and they were both phenomenal actors. It was phenomenal to watch them on screen. It's like, man, grew up watching these two in The Wire, and it's just every time you see one of you all from anywhere, even Nick Sabaka in Law and Order, it seems like it's I don't know, it's a spectacle to see The Wire actors just outside of The Wire. It's phenomenal. Really.
I want to get into the Double G character a little bit. So did you when you did so when you got the role of Double G, like, did you want some background information? Who is this guy? What is his relationship to the Greeks? How, or you just like kind of like
I mean,
went with the
yeah,
flow?
as an actor, like absolutely, like any information that you can grab that gives you, it helps build what you have, who this person is, why they're doing what they're doing. That said, I didn't have an awful lot of information going forward, so a lot of it was on me to generate, not generate, just to be this person, find who this guy was. Unfortunately, they start me off slow, just being around the people that I'm with in the cold. Like you get a immediate sense, a very tactile sense of what this is. When they throw new information at you, where it's like, okay, you're going to be an Americanized Greek. No, you're going to have an accent. You're like, okay, I've got to go get that stuff. So let's go get that stuff and go talk to some people and just listen. And that's it. You just sort of, I think by just listening by the people around you, you sort of like be a sponge and sort of take it all in and kind of like fully form this guy as quickly as you can, because you got to go now. So
And then then I think we could get introduced to you. I mean, Leland could correct me if I'm wrong. He's the I think Leland probably knows the show the most out of all three of us, if I'm correct. The first time we see Double G is when Ziggy at the coffee shop, when Nick brings Ziggy, and Double G is there, and immediately, like, Ziggy says something dumb, and you can see just Double G like like so annoyed with Ziggy right off the bat, right? And
what are
it's
we
like
doing?
he had like such a distaste for him, and like when he's
Good
dealing with the
reaction. Yeah.
cameras, like, he's dealing with the cameras, he's like talking to Nick, and then like he just like so throughout the whole time he's displacing Ziggy, where Ziggy actually reaches his boiling point. And it's funny too. Let me give Ziggy a little shout out too, because I was thinking about this earlier today.
Ziggy took out a boss, like,
And right. So, but not only that, because I feel like I think me and Jack kind of sympathize with Ziggy a little bit. But I'll say this: as a younger brother to a cool kid, right? That like, where like the cool kids hung with, for a family member to kind of like dismiss you like that, it kind of hurts. It stings.
Sure.
No, I wasn't gonna go get a gun and freaking shoot up people, but you feel a little.
Yet.
So when Nick did that, I'm like, I feel bad for Ziggy in that scene. I just want to throw that out there. But
and you know what, Jesse, too, we've talked about this almost every week since we've been breaking down season 2. Every time I rewatch season 2, I have this love. I feel sorry for Ziggy. And then I finished the season, and I'm like, that was stupid, Ziggy. So I go through it too. You try to feel for him, and then
you
like,
do. And then he does take
like,
that stuff.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, but I was just gonna say, like, why? So why couldn't Double G just be fair to him? Why couldn't he just give him like the fair cut for like the deal that they made? Like, I don't.
That's a fair question, and you see poor Ziggy, like you see he's a tragic journey. He's not a bad dude.
No.
He's trying so hard,
yeah.
and he's like, the life going just give him like a bunch of slaps all in a row, and just keep like the hits keep coming, and he keeps building. Right, you see that tragedy build up, and again, like you said, didn't need to happen.
No,
it didn't have to be that way almost on each event. It doesn't need to be that way, but we make these choices, right? And why do we?
I made the point that Ziggy should have worked in the tower. Like, none of this could have avoided. You know what I mean? If he had just stopped trying to be a drug dealer, but he wanted to just like prove something. And
but you know what, too, Jack? I think too because the writing needed to be what it needed to be, and we needed to show the pecking order and the hierarchy in the dock, how the dock working system is set up. We had to show Ziggy not being able to get those hours as somebody in the in the tower. Like, it kind
I understand why it makes sense, because he wouldn't be smart enough. When I'm just saying, like if I had been this fictional character, that's what I would have done. It sucks when you watch that, because it is a tragic character. So you watch somebody make mistakes, and it's like you want to jump through the screen and like intervene and be like, stop doing that.
You know what, too,
testament
Jack,
to the actors.
Jesse? for Ziggy too, like if you watch the Greeks, how the Greeks work, how Double G works, like they are very meticulous in how they analyze stuff. You know, from the jump, they're already breaking you down, trying to see kind of what you're about because they're all business. So from the jump, they're analyzing Ziggy. They see like,
right.
he is a goofball, and I think he uses drugs. Like that's when Double G brings it to Spiros. He's like, and Double G's like, well, I don't care what he does. Okay, look, this is a good deal. We need to get these cameras off, but they've already broken him down. Like he's a drug addict. He's a child. He doesn't listen. Like from the beginning, those were the thoughts in their head. He was never going to be respected by the Greeks.
And that's the problem. He keeps doing those. He doesn't have that self control. So,
Right.
He lets himself like, hey, let me take a picture. And like, okay, there's what
It's
are we doing?
impulsive.
This? Let's not do this.
I'm a worldwide international mob boss criminal.
Yeah,
I don't need a picture of myself on your fucking camera.
Right.
So there's being these little like things where he just can't control himself, can't help himself, and they're by themselves, like they're meaningless. Okay, but he keeps doing that. So unfortunately, he can't shake this sense of like who that goofball, right? It's tragic. He's not a bad guy. He's trying really hard. He's struggling.
And you want to root for him too. You do.
He's a young guy trying to find his identity. It's like
absolutely, and like his place in the world, right? And then like everywhere he just gets shat on everywhere he goes. He's like, come on. So I mean,
it was a tragedy. It definitely. And Jesse, I never thought about Jesse like what you said, how bad it could be for Ziggy. Actually, how Nick shitted on him, like in that scene, like it's like I couldn't imagine my big cousin us going somewhere like and him doing that in front of people, like
right.
Wait till we get in the car. Like,
yeah.
I mean, so Jesse, like, what's your? I mean, I think we just kind of laid it out, but as far as your sense of why Double G does that. I mean, you guys are such. Like, you guys are.
Well,
I mean, the show intimately. I mean, really.
Right.
Yeah.
Just because he.
Well, that's the thing, right? I feel like, part of the storyline of Ziggy is people getting over on him. It's not only Double G, it's Frog and stuff, but like but I question like the show stuff too because I'm kind of like, well, Double G wants to build a relationship with Nick, obviously, and why doesn't he just why doesn't he just abide by giving Ziggy the right amount? That kind of, I'm like, I know we always see Ziggy getting taken advantage of, but that question actually, I was like, it makes no sense to me that Double G didn't give him the right amount. Because Double G seems like more of a businessman than freaking Frog.
Jesse, like you said, everybody does it to him. It's just kind of how it has to be written for his story and for him to finally snap.
Well, no, it makes sense why they would do it. They do it because they can, though. I mean, that's the whole thing. That's what the whole. It's because there is no. There's not like, oh, I have a strategic reason. It's just like, fuck this guy. He's just, what is he gonna do? He's not gonna do anything. Which is why Ziggy ultimately shoots Double G, because he finally wanted to prove. He finally wanted to stand up to somebody, to anybody. Like what I mean? And that's it right there. He finally wants, what? I'm gonna shoot you. Like I've just literally had it, and that scene, and I would definitely love for you to go into what it was like, when the scene when you get shot, because it's such a sad scene, and it feels so like just real, especially like the sound effects. It's kind of horrifying, and like. It's like building up to this. You think almost like a worse director would have made it almost like triumphant, right? When he shoots this guy who's been like taking advantage of, but it's just like
it's sad.
It's another fuck up on Ziggy's part. It's like, Ziggy, what are you doing?
It's very brutal. Even at the end, like Double G, your character is not. You're on the ground. You're just like begging. It's just like, oh my god. It doesn't give you any catharsis, which I think was really good out of the whole thing.
Not how he imagined it would go.
Yeah, exactly. And even like when he walks out. So, did they this is something I've asked other actors before, but did they not tell you like that Double G was going to be killed at the end of the season? Did they like tell you that before that episode, or?
I think what happens for me anyway. I mean, like for The Wire, I would get a script, maybe a week prior, not too far in advance. So you were given like what you were doing the next time you were on, and not necessarily everything in between either. So I had a limited view of what I was happening in my world. And so I know that later on that I would be, shot in the face? No, I did not know that until like basically the week before. You're going, oh, okay, cool. Well, I've had 5 episodes, give me the ball in a run. Let's go.
I feel like having a death scene is kind of cool though too. It'd be exciting, Like
it is. You're very like, just kind of flowing with what the creators have made and making the most of it in the best way.
So Teddy, you've never seen. Go ahead, Jesse.
No, I was gonna say I think you got to show off some acting chops there too when you weren't like begging for your life. I think there was like a little
completely different side of Double Z, which is I think has his own things going on. Clearly, like you like he reminds me of a peacock a little bit, So, and I think he had again, and to your Jesse, I agree. Like, was it the best business decision he's ever made in his life to shortchange Ziggy? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I think the proof's in the pudding.
But no, he decided to be a dick.
Short him.
Yeah.
So Teddy, you've never seen just in its own season. You've never seen season 2 of The Wire in full?
Not. I'd started watching it, but again, the time was limited, so I did what I could. Just again, could have sort of remind myself of who I was in that moment and what we did. And I didn't have the time to watch it. I got through like season 2. And I'm sorry. I got through episode 2, a part of 3, and then I was losing time, so I had to like basically fast forward ahead to be familiar with what that world was, so I could
know that it's the reason I asked that because Johnny 50 he said the same thing when we interviewed him, and I've seen an interview with Idris Elba, and he's like, yeah, I haven't watched it recently, like kind of thing.
I mean, it's a weird, talking with even. It's a weird thing to watch yourself. It's not like
listening to your voice.
It's like you're like in an echo room. Like it's not. It's just an odd feeling. So it's not something that I'd be like, yeah, you guys want to come watch me? With me? What? Who are you? Anyway, so
right.
So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of wonderful shows out there, and look, like I said, visiting the world of The Wire for the first time. And getting through like halfway through season 1, I mean, there's so many wonderful characters. So I'm looking forward to like, seeing that whole world spool out. And there's a lot of my friends actually that are also on The Wire from here and there. I can see them. Like, wow, look at me, just that guy. Anyway. So it's
you keep in touch with any other cast members and everything.
I mean, there are some that were my friends from before who got on the show that I'm still in touch with,
okay.
Every now and then, yeah. But no, I think of like Aubrey Deeker, who's a friend. Like I don't know if a wonderful actor, a good friend. But him and others, but that's one.
Who did he play on the show? I'm trying to think.
I don't know because I haven't seen The Wire, but I know that he worked in later seasons.
What's his name?
Aubrey Deeker.
Typing it in right now.
Aubrey Deeker.
Yeah.
So it's funny, Teddy. The rumor is that Idris was not happy at all when his character was killed off.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They said he was like you couldn't even talk to him that day. So.
I guess when you're part of a show for so long too, it almost creates like a anxiety, right? Because you're, it's like you build so much around like a character that you've been doing for years, Like the new season of Stranger Things came out, and those kids have been like, they're not even kids anymore. They're like 25 years old.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like this new season.
I found out who Audrey is too, Teddy. I see who he is. He's in season 5, Jack.
Okay.
The season 5 person that confronted Scott Templeton about his story about the army.
Right.
Okay.
That's who Teddy's talking about. That's who.
That he was the Vietnam vet.
Mm-hmm.
So he actually has one of the best quotes in the He actually has one of the best quotes in the Wire. And Teddy, if you could tell him, maybe you could reach out to him for us too, and
Sure.
we'll have him on.
I love that.
But
Yeah.
so this reporter, he's like he just lies. He lies for the better story, for the more well written story. And he spends the day with this Vietnam vet, and he lies about what happened in Vietnam. No, not Vietnam. I'm sorry. He would have been too old for Vietnam, right? In the war, whatever.
Yeah, he lies about a war that
he was
vet
in.
was in a situation.
So the vet goes down to the newspaper to confront him, because he's like, if somebody sees this story, if old soldiers of mine see, like partners of mine see this story, you don't lie about shit like this. And he says, well, and then the reporter told him, everybody has a side to the story. He said, a lie is not a side to the story. It's just a lie. I love this. Like they always have these quotes. And another interesting fact on that I told the guys too, like, so the season 4 and 5 has like this ruthless serial killer, drug dealer, drug kingpin Marlowe, right? And then you have Ziggy, who's like the opposite, who's like this big goofball and stuff. But the first time Ziggy meets Sergey, he's like, "Oh, Boris," right? And then Marlowe meets Sergey for the first time, and he calls him Boris. And I'm like, so Marlowe and Ziggy have the same kind of sense of humor, and they're like two different. So,
poke. Yeah.
There. Yeah.
So, and what Sergey said, Jesse? Why always Boris?
Why always Boris? Yeah. I was telling Teddy, the Greeks are like the most badass characters. Did he have a face? Did he have hands? Then it wasn't.
You know what? And you know what, Jesse? I've said it a few times, and they won't do it obviously because The Wire is such its own thing. A prequel isn't really necessary or thought of, but I would have loved to see the Greek organization. Mm-hmm. Just maybe another season, or maybe just some more insight into that organization. Like people give season 2 flack. It's different from season 1. It's this, it's that. But if nothing else, the Greek organization, how tiered and how extensive it was, like, man, it's phenomenal. Those storylines are phenomenal. These are international criminals kind of thing. It was they were a phenomenal story to The Wire. Like it's unbelievable. I would have loved to see even just how Frank and the Greeks connected. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Greeks are unbelievable organization for sure.
What was your fondest memory of the Wire? Teddy.
Oh my gosh, geez. I mean, again, this is feels like a million years ago and a different people ago. It's hard to recall. I mean, again, I think for me,
network.
It just felt, it felt exciting again to just be in this other world that I didn't know of how to, the TV world and navigating that. And so I don't know if I have a favorite memory, honestly. Just that it was very exciting and so different than what I knew. And so I was just, I don't know if I could tell you if I had a favorite time or not. I mean, I had a great time, but it was also it was stressful because again, I didn't know, and I had a lot of self-imposed pressure that I had, to do a good job.
Yeah, it's your first role.
So
go ahead, Jack.
No, I was gonna say, I mean, it's your first role on a HBO. It's got to be like extremely nerve-wracking. Hundreds of people around there, just trying to make a good impression and everything. Yeah. I wanted to ask you because you mentioned voice acting, and we were doing a little research on you, and I'm a big Red Dead Redemption fan. So, how did you get into voice acting, and what did you find that you like it? Is it a good experience and everything? Something you want to do more of?
Absolutely, I endeavor to do more of it. It's something to me. I feel the voiceover world's very can be very lucrative. It can also, I think it's also one of the most competitive areas. Absolutely. So and I had a great time on Red Dead. They were fantastic to work with. What I mean, just their security measures were just, I mean, better than anything anywhere. You're not allowed. Your phone isn't allowed. You're just. They have you in spaces, and that's where you can go. But I mean, you go and play, and I mean, they're fantastic. I had a great time. And so yes, I do endeavor to do more of that. And it's you know, in the voiceover world, you can, yeah, you know, you can be anything from a sentient planet to a wolf to, I mean, you could just, it's just your voice, you know. And as you get older, your voice, you know, can change some, but you know, you can just keep going. And the world is as big as you want to make it, you know, or as big as the creators want to make it. So you can be anything. So it's a very, very fun and broad, open sort of place of creation that I enjoy. So
I
yeah,
never thought about it. Like there's like endless possibilities. It could be the voice of the.
it's just limited by here, you know. So what can you come up with, you know?
Teddy, I have a question about that actually, because we're just starting to try to expand kind of what we do outside of just simply shooting YouTube content. We want to get into the voiceover world because there's three of us, three different accents, three different, you know, nationalities. We want to venture into that world for our brand. What are, I guess, any
I don't have an accent.
Tips? Any tips for some people that are starting or want to get involved into voiceover work?
Jeez, I would say, kind of like with anything, I mean, take the classes, expose yourself to that world. Like, you know, just say, I don't know, and plant yourself, you know, find a good instructor and, you know, just explore. You know, I think the more you explore, the more you find how much more there is you don't know, right? And you could just keep going, and keep going. Find a good instructor that you work well with. That is, to me, that's something I want to do more of, and it's something I've done the least of. So
Really?
it's very competitive. But I feel very grateful that I get to even get invited to the table to even just like submit my things. So that's, you know, that's awesome. So you know, you don't worry about the shots you don't make. You just keep, you know, getting back up.
Yeah.
I was wondering about that.
Just don't be afraid to, like, if you want to do voiceover work, I mean, really just get out there, find, you know, you learn about it. Like, you know, is what I could tell you. There's so much content out there now, especially now with like YouTube and whatnot. If anything, you have questions about anything,
it's on YouTube.
You can find a lot of material to help deepen your knowledge on anything. It's not
same with Chat GPT too. Like, you know, that's kind of,
yeah, it's true. I mean, so I don't you know, it's something that I want to do more of, and I just keep at it.
Yeah. No, it's true that you have like, there is no excuse not to do stuff now. I mean, like, even, you know, there's so much availability, even like a podcast, like we're using StreamYard. It's connecting 4 people who don't live in the same place. You know, nobody thought anyone could do any of that. But I also was wondering though, because like I'm sure it's different for different studios. Like, so let's say you're when you're voicing like Flaco Hernandez in Red Dead Redemption, do they show you the clips while you're saying the lines, or do you just have to imagine what they're doing and just say it along that?
I'm going to be with Rockstar. They're very careful about what is. They're very protective of their material, of their methods. This is a million years ago. No, that's okay. But so I won't be very.
No problem. We don't want to. We're not trying to get you in trouble.
I appreciate that. So, and they're fantastic. They continue to lead, you know, technology wise in that world. So I would say, to answer your question, did I see, you know, the full rendering of what it is they had me doing? Not the full rendering, that, you know, but at the end of the day, you know, I'm not in those clothes. You know, it's motion capture, so you can imagine what that looks like. You look a little silly, right? You're not in
those suits with those spots on them and everything,
with the little balls all everywhere, right?
Right.
And so you look a little silly. So you're playing pretend, of course, that you're playing, and it's awesome. But so at the end of the day, they have sort of I remember there was basically a rough rendering that they showed you, so you can get an idea of. But it's nowhere near, the final product, which is really, really beautiful. So, yeah.
Yeah, of course. No, and I'm sure it is like different for other commercials or animated movies. I know some people they like to do it some other ways. Would you want to like when you're thinking about voiceovers? Were you thinking like video games as well, or like commercials, animated movies, or just sort of
I mean,
anything?
they're all voiceover. For me, though, I usually go out for I go out for a lot of video games, and also like things like pharma or cars. Those are the things I kind of, so you'll get a new drug that you'll see that's on, CNN for, your
Like Alestra or something.
right. Store. Right. But those are the things I tend to go out for.
Do you still get recognized as Double G?
Every once in a while. I remember the first time we were living in Astoria a million years ago, and I was going to a pharmacy, grabbing something, and someone goes, "Hey, Double
My
G."
family's from Woodside.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool.
So what happened? They recognized you at a store there.
Sometimes it shocks me. Like I just don't think of that. I don't think of that being a thing. But I think what happens is sometimes people feel like, hey, where did I see you before? Where was you familiar? And I don't say anything. I'm like, oh hey, good to meet you.
Probably see me in The Wire, Law and Order,
I'm Matt Damon, actually. Just makes it.
I guess we asked a few people this. Did you ever think 22 years later somebody would ask for an interview for your part in The Wire? Like, did you think The Wire was going to be as big as it was?
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, look, it was a. See, to answer your question, no, I did not think that I would have an interview about that. It was a million years ago, and people love it. And it was great work. But so no, I did not think that I would be having an interview about it. But it's nice. It's nice to visit that world with you guys.
So
people
there's one person who kind of that we were told, and most people said they had no idea. Yeah. Michael Kevin Darnall, who played Omar's boyfriend in the first season, Michael K. Williams. He said Michael K. Williams told him, "This is gonna be big," Yeah. And he kind of just kind of knew it. Jeffrey Pratt Gordon, who played Johnny 50, said that he met Alonzo Wilson, who we also had on the show, the costume designer. Said that when he just went when he went in, Alonzo looked at him and said, "Oh, you're dressed for your part already." Like he just wore the clothes. So, nice. What was your experience like with the costume department? Yeah,
I mean, it was pretty. They. I mean, it was. I feel like it was pretty basic. I mean, it would go in. They were like, try on this shirt, that shirt. Business guy. It's kind of colorful, kind of like little. Trying to have a little flash going on, but they were
very suit and tie-esque though. Suit and ties only, kind of like, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Double G was always dressed nice, from what I remember.
Yeah, no, I mean he had the front, right? He had the fence, so he had the
had to be a proper owner
side of the local business there, offloading things. So yeah, but they were great. I was again I always felt welcome. I was. Just always in this well taken care of, well-oiled machine is what yeah.
And I know you're in a rewatch, but season 2 can kind of stand by itself. I think you should skip season 1 and go watch season 2 and go appreciate what you all put together for that season. Like, especially if you're in the midst of trying to rewatch the whole show. Go rewatch your season, Teddy.
I was gonna say season 2 is actually the season you could watch without watching the other seasons.
Yeah, I think you should. It's something that will live on forever. People will
I have a
always
question
talk
for you guys.
about this show and what you all contributed and what it means to people. Like it's something. We're honored to even have you here on a Sunday morning. Just to be able to even talk to you about your career and being a part of it. So we appreciate it for sure.
Oh well, I appreciate you guys having me here. I do have a question since you guys are like Wire fans, and what is your and I don't know anything here. So what is your favorite season or favorite moment or favorite
Oh,
character?
here we go.
I'm serious. And
You have another
not
3
leading
hours or no?
questions, not leading questions, please.
It's
That's a tough one.
right. Well, season 4, I think, is all of our favorite season.
Okay.
I don't
That's
know
re-
though. Actually, I don't know.
okay.
It might be 4. I don't know.
We
Most of
have a
you.
hard time with this, Teddy,
Yeah.
because we acknowledge the show as what we feel is the greatest show ever. Every season has different themes, different actors. Every season and scene matters. We've tried to rank them. Then the next day we re-rank them. So
Yeah.
I mean, we've gone through this a lot. We do think that season 2 is by far the funniest season.
I'll tell you what. For an example, one of my favorite I have just a bunch of scene it's hard to say a favorite scene, but in season 2, one of my favorite scenes, we are just talking about it last week, is when, or 2 weeks ago rather, is when Frank has like a heart-to-heart conversation with Ziggy outside of the bar, and he kind of just tells him about like all these memories that he had as a kid, and like all this because his dad feels bad, like he should have paid more attention to him or had him go to community college. So Frank always felt like responsible like for Ziggy's shortcomings, but Ziggy's basically just telling me like, look, life is complicated, but
It's fine.
you gave me a good life. And
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what we were talking about earlier on this episode. Like, their characters were so fascinating because it was such like a real dynamic between father and son that was very heartfelt, and real. To see one of the other ones to talk about, the one that you auditioned for, is when the Greek tortures that guy. I just think it's one of the. That's when you first are That's when you first learn like like these people don't mess around. These people are you just see Sergey slapping around, and they play like a good cop bad cop thing. If you haven't seen it though, it turns out that by the end of the season, you learn that the whole thing was just a dream. So, just spoiler alert. I know it's
So I guess I'll answer the question this way. Season 4 is regarded, I think, critically as the best season. It's a season with kids growing up, and the four lives that we see as the children and the outcomes that they have is heartbreaking, some of them, and the way they live, some of them. And that's my favorite season personally. The kids still steal the show for me. uh, just as my favorite scene would be Omar robbing Marlo. Omar's the Robin Hood of the drug world. He and President Obama's favorite character, and The Wire is President Obama's favorite show, by the way. Um, there's an interview of him saying that, and so I guess my love from The Wire, I'll just say it like this, is just off the get, right? It's not your typical. D'Angelo comes home. We first meet Wood Harris, Avon, and he's like, and D'Angelo tells him, "You know how it is to be locked up." And he's like, "I have no idea what it is to be locked up, and I don't plan on knowing what it is." And instantly, we have like, we're entering like a smart criminal. We're entering the smart criminal world. This is not a regular hood show. Like, oh, this dude just came from home. This is his homecoming. This guy just plans on never being in prison at all. Like, he wants to, and just that whole perspective. And then you get to see the lives of the dock workers, of the the police, the criminals, but like their personal lives too. So McNulty could drink and drive, but the drug kingpin could put on a food drive for the community, right? So
and be a real estate developer,
right? And or be a real estate developer. So I think that's where my love for the show is, and I think that's why it's the best show of all time.
Yeah,
And
no,
you know,
worlds.
yeah, yeah.
I think
What's
for
your
me,
favorite
Teddy,
show of all time, Teddy?
for me, it's just been a show that's never left my rotation. I started writing a second book. The second book that I was working on was going to be about The Wire. So I've been watching it for years and just breaking down. We feel like even doing it on our podcast, there's so many nuggets, so many different character arcs and connections that you catch from season one that's connected to a random season 3 to season 5. Like there's so many connections, and it's something that I don't think that we'll ever get again, as far as something that can end at its peak. That's something I think shows struggle with, and I think a lot of shows struggle with trying to captivate an audience versus dramatize it. Like, if we can make it okay, let's make it actionable versus let's make it more deep rooted in reality. That doesn't happen so much, and I think The Wire touches on that a lot. Like, I think that's why people reflect on it and still look to it, and why it's such a great show. I think it'll never be duplicated in terms of the impact 25 years later, 23 years later, so.
Jack, you asked if what my favorite show was.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, we ask some tough questions here, man. You're in the hot seat here.
Fair enough. I mean, I forever love Breaking Bad. Forever.
Yeah.
That show, just that slow motion train wreck.
Slow motion.
Just when you think it can't get worse, and it finds a new low, a new.
That's true.
Just watching like with a blanket on you, just trying to find some comfort. So I love that show, man.
Yeah,
so
never lets up.
No.
Yeah,
no, And we had to
I think
breaks. We had to take breaks. You'd be like, okay, I've had enough anxiety. I need to.
Right. Yeah.
That season one is doing this right here. Season one is like, it's like you're watching it happen. Like,
I'm the one. Yeah. I'm the one who does the knocking. Might be some of the best acting I've ever seen ever.
He's got a new show. I don't know if you all have checked it out. I cannot remember what it's called. It's new.
Vince Gilligan.
Yes.
Yes, that's what he does. What is it called?
Pluribus.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be 100% IMDb rated. Like supposed to be top tier.
No, I look forward to seeing that. That's
I don't know if it's. I heard it's a slow burn too, but I don't know. He's a thinker as a writer and a creator, and we've talked about breaking down that show at some point, because that's another show that has so many different nuggets that you might not even know if you don't look it up and you aren't privy to it. So.
One great thing about Breaking Bad, just like The Wire, is that it stuck the landing, and I feel like Vince Gilligan, and David Simon, but also they planned things out from the beginning, which is what so they have I'm pretty sure they knew exactly what was going to happen to Walter by the end of the show. They weren't making it up as they go along like Stranger Things. They were just they had a plan, and I think that's probably makes it easier for the actors too, because there's a thread they can follow, rather than just being like, what are we doing now? This makes no sense.
I love what they do is and just having the confidence in themselves to tell that long story. Take their time. You're not necessarily worried about, here's all this exposition, which, it happens. As an actor, you're going to be given that ball and you're going to have to deliver that in a way that's natural. That's your lane, and that's the job. But, with shows like that, where you see that, again, this taking the time with the story, and and you can also see in those shows, and I love that, is the continuity of production, the high quality of that of the product they put out. There's a consistency there. You're using the same people for the most part. I mean, when I'm talking about everyone, I'm talking about the crew. I'm talking about it has a consistent feel to it all. It's deep. So you can just, it's a beautiful thing to watch. To let that story spool out. I love that. Yeah. And
Yeah, you need that consistency. You know, that consistency, like because it's true. Like when crews change in a show, you can tell. You can tell when there's like a drop off of quality. It's like when Larry David left Seinfeld, it wasn't as good after, and it's like, you know, you just know that there's something going on.
Something's different.
There's a little bit more of an a la carte feeling to it. You know, it's like,
Mm.
okay, sure, you can do that, and that's candy too, and there's a place for that too. But when you have that, you know, that investment in the people around you and the creators around you, the whole team, you definitely feel that cohesive unit.
Right.
It translates, I think. Also, slow horses. I love slow horses.
Oh, okay.
I hear that's,
Gotta
I hear
check
that's
that out.
good.
You know, with
Gary
Apple.
Oldman is
Gary Oldman's
one of the
fantastic. He's so good.
greatest actors ever.
Yeah,
Cool.
Apple TV has some good programming.
They do.
So Teddy, I'm gonna say my goodbyes. I'll let the guys say their goodbye. But you know, thank you so much for coming on, man. Double G is a great character. You know, we love knocking out these wire interviews. You know, and like you're such a sweetheart of a person. Like is like now when I watch Double G and he's an asshole, I'm gonna be like, oh man, but the guy's so nice. You know?
You're like, what a good actor. He's playing an asshole. He's not an
Right.
asshole in real life.
Exactly.
You know?
But
Well, guys, it was a genuine, you know, pleasure to be here with you. You know, the time was
Thank
like that. Thank you so much again for your interest and for your care. I wish you all the success in the world. I'll talk to Aubrey and see, you know, and just put you in touch with him to see if he has.
that'd be awesome.
I don't know what he's up to. It'll be give me a good excuse to reach out.
Yeah.
But guys, again, thank you for your time and your care, and you know, enjoy the rest of the weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you,
And
sir.
Teddy,
Have a great
if you
weekend.
wouldn't mind, we ask all our interviewees to say, please like, share, subscribe to Wiretap Truths. If you wouldn't mind saying that for us to take us out, we appreciate it.
Oh, y'all, please like, share, subscribe to Wiretrap Truth. Wiretrap Truths.
We
got it.
We got it.
Let's try it again. Take two. Please like, subscribe, share to Wiretrap Truths. My God.
That's it. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you, Teddy.
All right.
We
You're good,
appreciate it.
We'll take the please like, share, and subscribe part.
That sounds right. That sounds right. All right, guys. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you so much, man. We appreciate it. This has been another phenomenal interview put together by our founder, Jesse. We appreciate it so much. We appreciate the fans, all the love, all the support. We are approaching 105,000 views as a whole channel. So we appreciate all the fans, all the new love, all the new subscribers. Please, we always give our love to Miss Donna Adrian Gibson. Always, we appreciate your support for helping this channel, everything you've done behind the scenes as our unnamed and now named executive producer of our podcast. So we appreciate you so much.
Oh, real quick, I'm sorry, Teddy. If you want to come on, I just thought of this. Okay, with the guys, maybe you'll be up to this episode by the time we do it. When you die, it'll be cool for you to recap the episode with us.
Oh, sure.
Wow,
You bet.
that's a good idea, Jesse. That's pretty cool. Wow. We appreciate it. You all, thank you all so much. Happy holidays. Hope everybody had a phenomenal holiday. We appreciate it. If you all would like to book us for any voiceover work or any commercial work or any help with your podcast, please feel free to reach out to us at wiretaptruths@gmail.com. We appreciate it. Thank you all so much. Happy holidays.
All right. Take care, guys. All right. Bye.